Welcome to the meeting point. My name is Michael IIKEOGWU. The use of any nation remains the backbone of such nation. And it is often said that the youth are leaders of tomorrow. This is as a result of the youthfulness, the innovative ability of the youth, the creative mindset, the energy and the zeal to embark on challenges that the older ones may not be able to carry on. But in Nigeria today, most of the youth who would have used their youthful energy to help in nation building are idling away. However, there is still hope that these youth will one day realize their potentials in spite of the economic hard environment that they operate on. That brings us to the topic of today's discussion, the role of youth in socio-political and economic development of Nigeria. I have in the studio former Financial Secretary of National Association of Nigerian Students, National Financial Secretary, and former legislative aide in Delta State House of Assembly, Comrade Sunny Osanmor. Comrade Osanmor, you are welcome.
Thank you very much.
Let me start by asking, as a youth, how will you describe Nigerian youths?
Nigerian youth, in the first place, they are wonderful, despite the situation that we found ourselves. Because if I tell you that the Nigerian youth are one of the most intelligent in the globe, you won't doubt that. Because when our parents go outside the shores of the country for greener pastures, they do better than their foreign counterparts. So Nigerian youths are wonderful.
Okay, the comparison you made is the real situation. We have seen some of our young graduates going to overseas to do their masters and PhD. Even those who embark on the study for first degree have also done exceedingly well, which means Nigerian youths are able to compete favorably with their counterparts outside the shore of Nigeria.
Not only competing favorably, they are ahead in terms of our great mother. Nigerians are wonderful. I just said, in the situation we find ourselves in this country, it's so unfortunate. But when you juxtapose a Nigerian youth on a level footing with our counterparts out there, you see that we edge them out in all ramifications. Academically, in sports, social life, and everything, we are good. It's just the environment we found ourselves.
Okay, can you tell us what do you feel that are some of the things in our environment that is hindering the actualization of the potentials embedded in our youth?
You see, in nation building, you cannot take away the youth from nation building. They are inseparable. For nation building, there's this synergy between the youth and the success of a nation. The way you place your youth, the priority you give to your youth, depends the nature and the achievements you get in governance. When you have a program for the youth, when you develop a structure that will enhance the future of the youth, indirectly you are building that nation. Like they will say, youths are the leaders of tomorrow. Not only on leadership capacity. When you are building the youth, you are building the nation. Because youth is the foundation of a nation. Let me explain further. In Nigeria today, the youthful population of Nigeria is over 70%. And the workforce in Nigeria is the youthful ages. I know we don't have a unified definition for youth, but in this regard, in the course of this discussion, I would say a youth can be defined as any person within the lively age, within the workforce from 15 and 45.
15 is Nigeria is regarded as an adolescent.
Yes. It's regarded as an adolescent. But in the Western world, 15 is a youth. Even in some definitions will tell you that from 15 to 24 is youth. Some definition will tell you that a youth is between the childhood and adulthood. But I am an adult. In this context, I am still a youth.
Okay, you can say you are an adult youth.
Adult youth.
Okay.
Yes. So, the population of Nigeria, over 70% of the population of Nigeria are youth. So, in terms of the workforce, in terms of the energy, the enthusiasm, the creativity of the country borders on the youth. What is killing this country is that the youth participation in the economy, in governance, in socio-political activity is very, very insignificant because there is no program, structured program for the youth.
Okay, the question I asked earlier, you have said that the environment where they practice, where they live, have not given them the opportunity to actualize their potentials. Can you tell us vividly, what are those hindrances? What are those obstacles that have made them not to actualize their dreams?
The nation building we're talking about has to do with the participation of the youth. We have vibrant youth, but they are inactive. The present-day government, the environment we find ourselves, has given us little or no opportunity to strive, to be active. The Nigerian youth, most Nigerian youth are docile. You see, most of them that pull out of school, graduates and even school droppers, they have nothing to do. The unemployment and underemployment in Nigeria is on the high side. Some persons, owing to this chaotic situation in Nigeria, they are underemployed. Underemployment is when you are doing a job that is below your qualification. Like you see a graduate or a master degree holder driving a tricycle. It's an aberration. Just a few weeks ago, somebody went back to his alma mater, demanding that he's demanding the refund of his tuition fees over the years, that the certificate is useless to him. He returned the certificate, that they should make a refund of his tuition fee so that he can delve into other means of livelihood. If he had known such a person with the situation of the country, he wouldn't have embarked on education in the first place. So imagine a youth going through education 4, 5, 6 years and you are out, no job, you don't have a white-collar job, you don't have a blue-collar job, no conducive environment to strive, no support, socio-economic support to establish your business. Is very crazy. And you see, when you are not participating actively in the system, it gives rise to so many things. Like your first question, that the Nigerian youth are into many things, instead of them to focus on nation building, they are exerting their energies in so many negative aspects. It's as a result of the system. I am not holding sway for such a situation, but it's as a result of the system. The system is so bastardized.
Okay. You have outlined about three things that I can point at now: unemployment, underemployment, and lack of opportunity to participate in politics and leadership.
Yes.
You understand? So, if you ask me now, how and why do you think we have come to where we are now? Most times, the youth will say that the leaders are not given the opportunity to excel. But recently, there was a bill that was passed into law, the Not Too Young to Rule Act, which has given the youth now opportunity to participate actively in politics. Will you say the opportunity have not been created?
That I see that as paper opportunities. You see, we are good at documentations in Nigeria, but we are not realists. Even our constitution, I'll tell you, the 1999 constitution as amended has a whole lot of encumbrances that is even bringing us down. Because these documentations are so structured to favor a particular set of persons. Not Too Young to Rule bill has been passed, but in the real sense of it, when you come to the field of play, are they giving us the fair, the soft landing? These ODs, they have the financial muscles, they have the security architectures and everything. So when you come out as a youth, okay, last time they sold party forms for elections. Where can a youth, how can a youth cover 100 million to purchase a form?
That was not the only political party in Nigeria. There were some who said the form will be free for the youth. Why didn't you capitalize on the opportunity to go to that party and, contest?
Thank you. They know quite well that politics has to do with structure. Politics has to do with coordination. Those parties that gave up their funds for free, they know that they don't even have any structure to fall back on. They didn't build the structure from the grassroots. So you go in there, it's like you go and just waste your time.
So that was why many they did not capitalize on that to contest.
If I tell you that, let's say the major parties throw their forms open, and let them give, even if they don't throw the forms open, let them subsidize it. Then let's have some rules that will guide political participation. You don't spend above XYZ amount. Then even checkmating the source of income of these politicians in a very serious manner will go a long way. However, when you ask somebody, okay, please, can you tell us the source of your income? They will kill such a question. Can you tell us where you're coming from, what you've done? Even some, tell us your age, when were you born? Show us your certificate. They'll begin to talk stories. These are many more because they have hijacked the system from the world.
I quite agree with you that some of the political parties don't have structure. But don't you think that if the youth are organized, they can start building structure, even if, like this 2020 election now, they're unable to win, and they start building structure for 2027? Don't you think it will go a long way in giving the youth opportunity to participate?
We, the youth, we've started something. I am a party man. I am actively involved in party activities. Despite my party, in 2022, there was a movement. Though it was tagged NSAS.
No, 2020.
In 2020, there was a movement tagged NSAS. That NSAS does not really mean ending SARS, police, or whatever. But it encompasses so many stuff like bad governance, police brutalities, and everything. And that protest is still ongoing. It's a socio-political revolution. And you can see it. Almost all families, you must hear them say, I'm obedient, be obedient, this and that. It's not a party thing. It's a revolutionary stuff. And it's coming from the youth. I'm not holding sway for any political party, but this socio-political revolution by the youth is building up by the day. But the big question is, I hope at the end of the day, the tempo can be sustained. These power mongers will not hijack the system. If we're able to follow it prudently and judiciously, we'll get it right.
Okay, you are a party man. I know you belong to one of the political parties in the country. Can you boldly say that you will vote against your party when it comes to election? Let me say to your word, you say today this election is cancellation election. Let's vote against my party, and because of the candidate in the other political party. Can you beat your chest to say you will do it?
Very well, I'll do it over and over again. Every Tom, Dick and Harry knows the socio-political, economic situation of the country. Hunger does not know party. Hunger does not know ethnicity. It does not know religion. Insecurity that is ravaging the whole country does not know any political party. It can hit anybody, whether you are APC, whether you are PDP, whether you are APGA or whatever. So, this is a rescue mission. 2023 is a rescue mission. We are going to vote according to credibility, competence, character. That is what's going to happen.
That's what's going to happen. So, if you look at, after assessing your candidate, that particular political party that they belong to, and you feel that does not have the character, does not have the capacity, does not have track record, you won't vote for you.
Even if you are my father and we are in the same political party, if you don't have the character, if you don't have the competence, I'm not going to vote for you. Not only voting for you, I'm not going to canvass for people to vote for.
Okay, Osanmor, I'm going to, follow you up after now to see how you are going to actualize this. But I hope that God will give you, the grace and the fearlessness to carry on with what you have just said. The youth generally,
yeah.
You see there will be revolution in 2023.
Not just 2023. It has already started.
Yes.
And the prayer is, it started in 2020. So our prayer is that the tempo be maintained to 2023 and beyond.
And beyond, okay. So from your own assessment, and I know you are speaking the mind of so many Nigerian youths,
yeah.
How will you describe the economic situation in Nigeria?
Nigeria is at the verge of total collapse. The economy is nothing to write home about. You see, though it didn't start today, but this recent administration of the past 7 years has been a total failure at the national level. Irrespective of whose ox is God, our indebtedness is quite alarming. And if nothing is done as soon as possible, Nigeria will be heading towards a socio-political, economic Bermuda Triangle. So, the prayer is that we rescue this cascading ship of Nigeria. Otherwise, we'll kiss goodbye to it after 2023. What am I trying to say? If you go through our national budget, most of the provisions there are just for recurrent expenditure and debt financing. You borrow to finance debt. You borrow for consumption. Are you heading anywhere? We are borrowing not to build projects, infrastructure, not to go into manufacturing. But we are borrowing to pay salaries. We are borrowing to finance offices, to spend, to lavish on our senators and our House of Rep members and everything. Meanwhile, we are not creating jobs. No industries. We don't have roads, good roads. No infrastructure. The ones we have are dilapidating by the day. We can't fix them. Going by this trend, in the next 10 years, we will be enslaved in our country. So, this calls for rescue. We should not look towards party line. We should not look towards ethnic inclination or social divide. We should look towards our collective future as Nigerians.
Yeah. So, the way you speak, I can see the passion in you and the zeal to have a change and change the narratives at the political level.
Yeah.
What are you people doing, the mass majority of youths that are, first of all, unemployed, unengaged, underemployed, and if I may say, that doesn't seem to have hope, if not no rescue? I'm borrowing your word now. If there's no rescue mission that will bring the ship back to sail. So what are the youths doing now to ensure that you mobilize massively for this desired change in this country?
The youths are doing the needful gradually. It's just that we have a very sabotaging system. Like I said, if Nigeria happens to be a normal country, because everything about Nigeria, most things, not everything, most things about Nigeria now is going haywire.
It's abnormal.
Yes. I'll tell you, most things, even imagine you cannot drive 1 kilometer without meeting a police checkpoint. But it's only in Nigeria that can kidnap, adopt 300 persons. Imagine the vehicles they used to adopt 300 persons and drive over 20 kilometers without hitting a security checkpoint. Is that not abnormal?
Yeah, very abnormal.
It's only in Nigeria.
I agree with you.
It's only in Nigeria you'll be indebted and you also borrow money to buy vehicles for another country, an independent country. Is that not abnormality?
You look abnormal.
It's only in Nigeria you borrow money to do rail that are not economically viable from one northern end to another country that does not have any economic value to Nigeria. Is that not abnormality? It's only in Nigeria you will see graduates every year out of school, but no single provision for job. That's abnormality. You admit people, they write jump, they get into school. After 4 years, 5 years, 7 years, as the case may be, you graduate them. There is no provision for job. No provision for even job seeker allowance. And you expect these persons to be loyal. You expect them to be good citizens of the country. They cannot be loyal to the country that is not providing for them. They cannot be loyal to the country that is not planning for them. Youth restiveness, like I said earlier, we are one of the best set of youth in this world. We've taken so many things. I know if we were to be Western world youth, by now the revolution won't be civil. Even some of them will be committing suicide in form of expressing their depression. But some of us, we weather the storm. We swallow very bitter pills. The depression is very enormous, but we're taking it. And you see people embezzle money, public funds, and nothing is done to them. Ibrahim Magu, former EFCC chairman, acting chairman, where is he today? He has been promoted and whatever. He went scot-free in this country. Their list, and the list is endless, of all those persons embezzling public funds and going scot-free. The likes of this and Alice in Majeke and other persons. Nothing is done to them. Even some will finish their governorship term, they have corruption charges, they'll find their way to the Senate, still embezzling our money, no provision for the youth.
Embezzling money and collecting a pension from as former governor.
You will be former governor collecting all the entitlements, pension, and you will be a senator there, also siphoning the money meant for public development. So everything about Nigeria is crazy.
Osanmor, I'm interested in what you are saying. How can we redirect this ugly trend? We're almost leaving the topic of the issue. We are talking Nigeria now. You understand? So
it's funny.
How can we, redirect the attention of our leaders to begin to do the right thing?
But I want to tell our leaders something. Without primordial sentiments, yes, we the less privileged ones, we are still within the shores of this country.
Are you less privileged?
Yes, politically, economically, and otherwise.
Okay.
The truth of the matter is this. They send their children abroad with public funds to the best of schools and stuff like that. But the time will come, the monsters they are creating in this country will not allow their children come back to this country. Their children will be alien, will be foreigners outside. They cannot come to their fatherland.
You see happening in no distant time.
Yes, if they don't allow us have our way now and for us to restructure, to rescue this country. When the monster they've created in terms of unemployment, in terms of insecurity and everything, when that monster will be very uncontrollable, their children cannot step foot in this country. Most of them cannot come into the country now. Last time, you heard what happened to Ifan Uba's convoy. Yeah. He was attacked.
Very ugly incident.
It's a shame. I am not wishing him evil, but these are some of those monsters they have created directly and indirectly. It's growing by the day. A time will come, some governors cannot go to their villages. Senators cannot come back to their constituencies.
They will remain in Abuja.
They will remain there. Last time they threatened they were going to adopt the president, just to tell you the height of insecurity. So they are creating monsters. We are done. He that is done need fear no foe. If they don't want us to rescue the country, if they don't want us to change the narrative, we'll just be there. Any day we meet our end, that will be fine by us. But the time will come when we, the masses, will be hungry, maybe no food to eat. We begin to eat them. Because they say a hungry man is an angry man. So let them know that.
Okay. I asked a question, you deviated to begin to talk about the monsters that are growing. What is the solution out of this problem?
The solution is sincerity of purpose. Sincerity of purpose. They know the truth. They know the truth. It's just that they don't want us to be free. We are enslaved. If you come, Nigeria is bedeviled by three major factors. Religious divide. Nigeria, we are not worshiping God. Most Nigerians are not worshiping God from their hearts. We are only doing a religious exercise. That is why you begin to segregate. And that religious divide has caused a whole lot of menace. Secondly is ethnic inclination. Nigeria, we have big issue, socio-political wise, that has to do with ethnicity. And this ethnic divide has caused nepotism, putting a round peg in a square hole, because he's my brother. All the appointments and everything. He's a Northerner. He's a Muslim. He's a Christian. He's an Easterner. Appointments are done on that basis. Then again, the one that is also killing us now is the political party issue. You will see a candidate that is close to his grave, a grandpa that is supposed to have retired, somebody who is not even strong, healthy, because he is from your party. You are rooting for him. Or you will see a criminal, somebody with dubious antecedents, because he is from your party. You are rooting for him. The few youths who are rooting for these men of questionable characters, I feel sorry for them. I feel sorry for them. Because they are not only endangering their future, they are telling themselves that they are not worthy to live. I just wish that there will be sincerity of purpose. Sincerity.
Okay, Sonny, we'll come back. Let's open up the line so that our viewer can make contribution to this discussion. Because if I allow you to continue the way we are speaking, I may not be able to open up the line. So the number to call is 0812-106-9621. The number again is 0812-106-9621. And the second number is 0807-843-4277. You can call to make your contribution. We are looking at the role of youth in socio-political and economic development of Nigeria. And our guest in the studio has been Comrade Sunny Osanmor. He is the former National Financial Secretary, National Association of Nigerian Students. And he's a graduate. And with the passion he has for this country, I think Sunny will be one of those that I will be promoting to be given an opportunity to serve this country. Because if we give you a opportunity to lead, particularly in which local government are you from?
I'm from Bedford. I'm from Anachua South local government.
Anachua South, okay. Maybe I will begin to campaign for you for Anachua South to be chairman of that local government there, because I know you do a lot there.
I'll do very well.
Okay, so let's look at you talk about youth. We are looking at youth participation now in every sphere of our endeavor. Politically, the 2023 election is around the corner, and majority of those who are rooting for these candidates are youths. Yeah. Are you telling me that they don't know the background of those that are canvassing for, or they're just doing it for their pocket's sake?
Majority are youth. Like I said, 70% are youth. Hunger and illiteracy can make you act like a madman. They need to understand where they are coming from and where they are going to. With these 7 years of Buhari's administration, any sensible person will know that when you put a clueless pressing at the helm of affairs, the pain you are going to suffer for 4 years or 8 years will be unbearable. We're trying to talk them into understanding with us. But because of, like I said, party inclination and religious inclination, some are adamant. You cannot always have everything. But majority have sense of belonging. Majority of the youth. I can say that this political era is better than the ones we've seen in the past. There's a socio-political revolution, and it's going on very, very well. We are hopeful that the narrative will be changed in 2023.
So in what ways do you think the youth can really help in the socio-political and economic development of this country?
The ways the youth can help in the nation building in terms of socio-political and economic development is by participation. Like I said before, participation in all ramifications. You mustn't be a white-collar job holder. You mustn't be a political office holder. If the correct system, you see, nation building is human-oriented. It is not institutional-oriented. It's not institution-oriented. It's human-oriented. When you are doing what you are doing and you have the conducive environment of doing it well, you are contributing to the economy in your only two ways. You contribute your quota, I contribute my quota, the political office holder contribute his quota, the contractor does what he's asked to do without siphoning public fund, everybody contributing to the development of the country. That is simply referred to as nation building. When a graduate who has no job can access other forms of livelihood to enhance himself and contribute to the system, that is nation building. So any youth that is not engaged, whether it is self-engagement or government engagement or private sector engagement, is not contributing to the system. It's not. It's all about the activeness of the youth in the system. That's what contributes to nation building. Cumulatively, when you bring yours, I bring mine, it amounts to nation building. So, you should be engaged. There should be platform, there should be system where everybody should be engaged. Agricultural sector, commerce and industry, and everywhere. When last was there publication for employment? Though our governor of the other state, some of the schemes they put in place actually try towards that regard. But the big question is, what is the percentage? I don't know if you understand.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
The percentage of those engaged to the percentage of those not engaged. Then you begin to feel the impact. If the percentage of those engaged, whether privately or publicly, is at least up to 50%, we'll see the impact. The impact will be very visible.
Okay. As the former financial secretary of NANS, National, you played a little bit of politics there.
Yes.
Do you have the intention to contest election in the future in Nigeria? The mainstream politics.
Yeah, I love politics so much. I love politics, and you can't do without politics. Presently, like I told you, I'm an alumnus of Socio-Political and we're planning a convention. Based on one or two issues, I developed interest to run for the national president of the association.
Okay.
And I hope to contribute my quota from that end, socially, politically, and otherwise. It's about giving back to the system. It's about service. It's about welfareism.
Okay. Okay. National President of Ogwashiku Alumni Association.
Delta State Polytechnic.
Of Ogwashiku Alumni Association.
Yes.
When is the convention coming up?
The convention will be holding on the 21st and 22nd of October.
Okay, I wish you good luck.
Thank you.
Well, sorry, this is not the platform to ask a question like this, but because of the interest we have shown, if you are given the opportunity to serve there, what will you do? Because you have said the government have not been able to do this, I'm not going to do that. If they give you the opportunity now to go and serve in that capacity, what changes are you going to bring on board? Not the one that will benefit you, but the one that will benefit the institution and benefit all the members of that group.
Very well. As a matter of fact, Alumni Association is an association is a gathering of graduates of a particular institution. And the main objective of such association is to giving back to the system what they give to you. They've given us sound education. Despite we paid for it, but there was enabling environment. I thank the Delta State government for that. The state government really tried in the education sector. So they've given us sound education, and we've gone places, despite the fact that there's paucity of job here and there. But irrespective of that, we want to give back to the system. We want to contribute to our alma mater. And it's a platform where we organize ourselves. What
do you think you will offer? Because in the course of this discussion, you made me to understand that holding political office is for service.
Yes.
What is the reason why you want to contest? What change do you want to bring into the institution? Because you can't be saying that others who are occupying the social position have not done well. If you don't have a blueprint, there won't be need for you to go around.
The blueprint is this: the unification of members of the association is paramount. If we're able to have an organized system, like I've been harping on system, it's all about organizing yourselves properly on a right footing. If we're able to have an organized system, a unified arrangement where we have unity of purpose, we contribute our resources in a singular pool where we can launch to the institution. We'll build structures. We'll know where they have deficiencies in the institution. We collaborate with the institution, even with the host communities. We will have synergy. You cannot just, sometimes where we get it wrong, we have peculiar needs. You don't just say because you have resources, you want to build road. Meanwhile, the need of that particular community or that institution is security. So when we get in there, we know the areas they are lacking.
Okay.
We will come in. I won't tell you that when we get there, we're going to build lecture theaters and whatever.
Okay, because lecture theater may not be the need of the people.
As at that particular time.
Okay. All right.
Then we also assist the indigent students. The indigent students, we assist them. Then our members who are less privileged in one area or the other will lend helping hands. Because when we lend helping hands, we'll grow together.
Okay. I think it's a novel idea. Because most times what you see the politicians do is they don't ask questions. They will just come to community and say, we want to do road. The next time somebody says, okay, I'm going to give them a transformer.
And that may not be the person of that community at that material time.
So do you see as a wrong way of development?
Yes. Very wrong. You, like when I was in secondary school, there was a factors for location of industry.
Okay.
I can't forget that line. We have factors for location of industry. They'll tell you nearness to raw material, accessibility, nearness to market, and stuff like that. If you want to locate an industry, maybe a cement factory, and there is no resources for cement within that terrain, no accessible road, no market within, you just locate it. You see that it won't make sense. You won't achieve the purpose for which that industry is located. So you do your feasibility study before you embark on projects. There are roads, like I made reference to the railway. Some railway that were constructed are useless to us. They are not economically viable. Before you embark on any project, you have to do feasibility study. You know why you should embark on that project. You know the need for that project. So, because human wants are insatiable, and the resources to satisfy human wants are limited. So, in trying to satisfy human wants, you prioritize. You prioritize your projects. This one is more important than this. So, let me go with this first.
So those are the things our politicians are doing without really considering the immediate need of the people.
Yes.
So we want to correct it. I pray God give you the grace to actually do that. In Nigeria today, most of our youths have gone the other way of life. Some have gone into drugs, some have gone into yahoo. Some have gone into ritual killing. Some have gone into courtesan. Will you say it's because of unemployment that has led them into all those things?
It's quite condemnable. I wouldn't say it's totally because of unemployment, no. But there's a relationship to that. The evil communication, my Bible tells me, corrupts good manners. And an idle mind is the devil's workshop. Anybody that is into illicit business or lifestyle does not have excuse for it holistically, because ignorance is not an excuse. And you won't say because my government is not doing well or my father is not doing well, it now gives you the impetus to go the wrong way. Two wrongs can never make a right. Although I would say the actions and inactions of the government is contributory to that. But on the other hand, I will condemn the activities of such youth. That is bad.
So what would be your message to those who are already taking that line, for them to really have a think? How do you think we can redirect their attention to begin to look the other way?
As a matter of fact, it's a whole lot of sensitization. And you see, punitive measures only cannot be the solution to it. government need to step in to doing the needful. Government need to have a rethink of its activities. Then sensitization will go a long way.
Sensitization, okay. The role of youth in the socio-political and economic development of Nigeria. You have said for us to get it right, it must be holistic.
Yes.
And government must also play their role. The youth themselves, we are looking at what government can do. What can we do as youth to also help Nigeria to grow?
Youth is part of the government. Youth is part of the government. Like I said, the platform, the system, the template should be developed for everybody to be participating in what is happening in the country. The private sector, the public sector, everybody should bring what he or she has to the table in building this nation. You mustn't go to an office for you to be a contributor to the system. A business owner along the street is a contributor to the system. A cab driver is a contributor to the system. When you pay your tax judiciously, you are contributing to the public world. When government does what they're supposed to do, they fix the road, they make sure everything is working accordingly, they are doing their part. A government official cannot, a politician cannot beat the red line because of impunity. And you expect the commoners to abide by law. Whether you are a public office holder or not, let everybody begin to respect the law. Let's have unity of purpose. This is what we want to achieve. Not by what we say. Let us go by what we do. By the time I see my governor respect the traffic, I will have all it takes. Whether at night, I will say no, because of this person, he is coordinated. That it will be inbuilt in me. I have that conscience. It will be a civic responsibility, whether somebody is watching or not. Because of that singular action, he has deposited something in me that will always concern me. Like Christians, the notion of a Christian, not a churchgoer, is that anywhere you are, God is there. So anything you're going to do, when you have that conscience, when you have that notion that he is here with me, he's looking at me, your actions must surely be moderated. You will moderate your actions. You will know what to do and what not to do.
From this, your last answer, will you say that the attitude of some politicians in Nigeria has led our youths to engage in some of these acts that are not really commendable?
There's no gainsaying about that. It is very obvious. It is very pronounced. Even the blind can see it. The deaf hears. Most of the politicians, they even give arms and ammunition, especially during elections, to the youth in order to make them come to office, to bring them to office, by hook or by crook. They sponsor them. They sponsor them. So when you sponsor youth in a negative way, then the youth sees you tomorrow looting the public treasury. What kind of impression are you going to give to that youth? So, it's just the attitude of the politicians, majorly, that are influencing the youth. But we pray the narrative will be changed.
Can you mention some of those attitudes you have seen that is affecting our youth negatively? And how we can change such behavior?
Corruption is number one. Corruption. It has eaten deep to the fabric of this country. And most of these corrupt issues are brought to the public domain. Yet, no punitive measure. See, in the end, the youth will say, after all, they will do this, nothing happens. So why checkmate me? So, corruption, number one. Last time, it was on news now, and the case is still ongoing. Imagine number 2 person in the Senate, former number 2 person in the Senate, Senator Osanmor. You heard the saga of kidney harvesting and other stuff. If they were doing well in this country, we would have had best of hospitals, even in his village, in his local government. One of the health facilities there is a dungeon. That is not a good example. He's not showing a good example to the youth. And you don't expect the youth to emulate such a person and act right. The daughter the other time came on soliciting for donor, telling us she's schooling abroad. Why we have school in this country? And the father is one of the table shakers, politically and otherwise. And you are proud to tell us you're schooling abroad. Why we have schools in the country? Why not develop the schools in this country to standard? They will pull our public fund to sponsor their children abroad. And you expect the youth to be happy. And you expect the youth to emulate good stuff from them. It's bad and can't be compromised. The issue is that these corrupt politicians, they have sacrificed morality on the altar of corruption. Big Brother TV show is ongoing now. Maybe at the end of the day, a winner will come up. And you hear that the government or the governor of that particular state, the winner will come from, will give the winner 20 million naira. Meanwhile, a first-class graduate from that state will not get any award. So, are you encouraging hard work? They are not. They're not encouraging hard work. It's so painful. Like I said, they are not prioritizing our needs. And they don't have any good plan for the youth. And that is why this social revolution and it has entered political revolution now is ongoing. I pray it will be sustained.
Amen. Another issue that that have come to my knowledge is the way our politicians, flout their wealth, which has also made some of these boys to look at how to make quick money.
Yeah.
And also go to party to spray. What's your take on that?
It's all about the system too. It's all about the system. Like I made reference to our Nigerian constitution and 1999 constitution was amended. We have a lot of gibberish there. is one of the major problems of this country. A whole lot of impunities and everything are embedded in that constitution. That makes it difficult for these people to be checkmated. There is no real checks and balances in the country. Though we have 3 arms of government that are supposed to be watchdog, that are supposed to be independent, but it is independent in the papers, but they are dependent
in practice.
In practice, it's not so. So that is why it is difficult to check these things. Politicians, you gain power, you had only 1 car and a small building. But within a space of 4 years, you have fleet of cars, you have mansions here and there. Some even go outside the shores of Nigeria, Dubai, UK, US, to buy houses. What is the source of the person's wealth? From government. You don't own any business, you've not grown any business for over the years. Your only business is politics. And you gain power within a space of 4 years or 8 years, you are now a multi-millionaire or a billionaire, as the case may be. And there is no system to check all these things. If we had system, we had very organized system. Any person that is labeled any corruption charge should go through forensic audit, and once found guilty, we face the full arm of the law. I believe if we have such system, corruption will reduce. But even when we bring up evidences against people, the government of the day, owing to sectionalism, they know how to suppress it, they know how to kill it. And nothing happens. So you expect the youth, seeing a government official flaunting wealth and gallivanting, you expect them not to be enticed to doing evil in order to make it. The real, like one comedian will say, we have hush politicians. This one, they are crucifying hush puppy. We have hush politicians, even in the religious aspect. We have some pastors and everything. Last time, one pastor was linked with money laundering issue. The system is so balkanized.
Do you see the hope for the youth of this country?
2023 is the hope. With the way things are going, with this revolution, it can either get better or get worse off. Mark my word. Either we get it right 2023 going forward, or 2023 going forward, you may not be able to get out of your house to go to the next street. Because the hardship we've suffered for the past 7-8 years, we cannot afford to continue in that regard. If we suffer this hardship for the next 8 years, that will spell doom for everybody.
Okay. So our hope is that there is a better tomorrow. And the actualization of that solely will also depend the extent of the commitment of our youths.
Yeah.
So as we, round up on this program, what is your final word to Nigerians, particularly the youth that we are talking about today, with respect to socio-political and economic development?
I would like to advise my fellow Nigerian youth, irrespective of the socio-political, economic hardship, let's keep hope alive. Let's work towards rescuing this country that is already collapsing. Let us not engage in evil dealings that will jeopardize our future. Once there is life, there is hope. We can make it. We can create a new Nigeria for ourselves if we believe in ourselves. Let us not look towards party lines. Let us not look towards ethnic lines. Let us not look towards religious lines. Let us look towards our collective future.
That is the only way to go.
That's just the only way to go.
Comrade Sunny Osanmor, former National Financial Secretary, National Association of Nigerian Students, I want to thank you for coming to this program.
Thank you, sir.
You really spoke for the youth. And I know that God on our side, the youth will contribute to the change we earnestly desire. And Nigeria will be better for all of us. For effective participation of the youth, the leadership of this country must begin to create opportunities for them to exercise their rights and, participate actively in the scheme of things. Employment, unemployment, underemployment will make our youth not to achieve their potentials. For those who in politics, your laws, your acts, your constitution should create room for the youth to get involved. The humongous amount fees for purchase of form must be reviewed so that those youths who have the capacity, the capability, and credibility to participate in election will have the opportunity to exercise their destiny. Then and then we'll be building a varied nation, an egalitarian society that we can beat our chest to say, yes, we have. Nigeria has all it takes to become the giant of Africa in reality, not by confection. And that can be achieved with active participation of our youth in every sphere of our endeavors as far as Nigeria is concerned. My name is Michael IIKEOGWU. Join us same time for another wonderful edition of the Meeting Point tomorrow. Have a wonderful night rest.